حتى مطلع الفجر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إني أسألك وأتوجه إليك بنبيك النبي الرحمة محمد صلى الله عليه وآله. يا أبا القاسم يا رسول الله يا إمام الرحمة يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن يا أمير المؤمنين يا علي بن أبي طالب يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا فاطمة الزهراء يا بنت محمد يا قرة عين الرسول يا سيدتنا ومولاتنا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيهة عند الله اشفعي لنا عند الله. يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها المجتبى يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا عبد الله يا حسين بن علي أيها الشهيد يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن الحسين يا زين العابدين يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها الباقر يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا عبد الله يا جعفر بن محمد أيها الصادق يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن يا موسى بن جعفر أيها الكاظم يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن موسى أيها الرضا يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفانا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها التقي الجواد يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفانا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن محمد أيها الهادي النقي يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفانا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها الزكي العسكري يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفانا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا ولي الحسن والخلف الحجة أيها القائم المنتظر المهدي يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا ساداتي وموالي إني توجهت بكم أئمتي وعدتي ليوم فقري وحاجتي إلى الله وتوسلت بكم إلى الله وتشفعت بكم إلى الله فاشفعوا لي عند الله واستنقذوني من ذنوبي عند الله فإنكم وسيلتي إلى الله وبحبكم وبقربكم أرجو نجاة من الله فكونوا عند الله رجائي يا ساداتي يا أولياء الله صلى الله عليهم أجمعين ولعن الله أعداء الله الظالمين من الأولين والآخرين آمين رب العالمين اللهم صل على محمد
ایک درود بھیجیے محمد و آل محمد. اللہم صلی علی محمد. بہک رہے ہو یہ کیوں شاہ لافتہ کے لیے بہک رہے ہو یہ کیوں شاہ لافتہ بہت سے اور بھی ہیں نام مرتضیٰ کے لیے بہت سے اور بھی ہیں نام مرتضیٰ کے لیے اور نصیریو نہ کہو حشر میں علی کو خدا نصیریو نہ کہو حشر میں علی کو خدا اور خدا کے سامنے تو چپ رہو خدا کے لیے بہک رہے ہو یہ کیوں. ایک درود بھیجیے محمد و آل محمد. شافع روز جزا کو جو پکارے جائیں گے شافع روز جزا کو جو پکارے جائیں گے اور بے دھڑک محشر میں کوثر کے کنارے جائیں گے شافع روز جزا کو جو پکارے جائیں گے اور خاک ڈر ہو اے فرشتو بحر تلقین جوا خاک ڈر ہو اے فرشتو بحر تلقین جوا ابو ترابی ہیں علی کو ہم پکارے جائیں گے شافع روز جزا کو جو پکارے جائیں گے اور چھوڑ جاتے ہو کہاں اے کربلا والو ہم چھوڑ جاتے ہو کہاں اے کربلا والو ہم گلشن جنت میں ہم کس کے سہارے جائیں گے شافع روز جزا کو جو پکارے جائیں گے اور آتش دوزخ کو دم میں سرد کر دیں گے ضرور آتش دوزخ کو دم میں سرد کر دیں گے ضرور اور آئے گا ہرگز نہ یہ آنسو ہمارے جان رائے گا ہرگز نہ یہ آنسو ہمارے جائیں گے شافع روز جزا کو جو پکارے جائیں گے اور دیکھ کر تاریکیے زندہ سکینہ نے کا دیکھ کر تاریکیے زندہ سکینہ نے کا اے پھوپھی دن رات یہاں کیوں کر گزارے جائیں گے شافع روز جزا کو جو پکارے جائیں گے اور بول صغرا غم سے مر جائے گی یہ بیٹی بیٹی مری بولی سغرا غم سے مر جائے گی یہ بیٹی جب تمہارے ساتھ بابا گھر کے سارے جائیں گے جب تمہارے ساتھ بابا گھر کے سارے جائیں گے شافعِ روز جزا کو فاتحہ مرثیہ کے چند بند بی بی امول بنین کی شہادت کے مناسبت سے عرض ہیں ایک درود بھیجیے محمد وعلی اللہم صلی علی محمد قافلہ شام سے لٹ کر جو مدینے پہنچا قتل شبیر کی آنے لگی رہ کے صدا سن کے یہ مادر عباس کا رخ سرخ ہوا جوش میں آ کے پکاری یہ نہیں ہو سکتا جوش میں آ کے پکاری یہ نہیں ہو سکتا غیر ممکن ہے میرا خون دغا کر جائے زندہ عباس ہو زہرا کا پسر مر جائے زندہ عباس ہو زہرا کا پسر مر جائے قتل مظلوم کا کرنے جو لگا ذکر بشی روح کیا سوئے نجف اور یہ بولی دل کی سن لیا آپ نے کیا ہو گیا اے کل کے امیر کر گئی مجھ کو سبک میرے لہو کی تاثیر کر گئی مجھ کو سبک میرے لہو کی تاثیر چشم زہرا سے نہا ہو کے کدھر جاؤں گی سامنا ہوگا جو بی بی کا تو مر جاؤں گی سامنا ہوگا جو بی بی کا تو مر جاؤں گی واہ عباس میرے حق کا صلہ خوب دیا شیر مادر کا بھی احساس نہ کچھ دل میں رہا ہلکے شبیر پہ کس طرح سے خنجر دیکھا میں نے کیا تم کو اسی دن کے لیے پالا تھا میں نے کیا تم کو اسی دن کے لیے پالا تھا جب مورخ یہ فسانہ کبھی دہرائے آرزوئے اسداللہ پہ حرف آئے گا، آرزوئے اسداللہ پہ حرف آئے گا۔ تھیں ابھی مادر عباس تو صدمے سے نڈھا، نظر آیا سرے صغرا کے پریشان ہے با، کہا صغرا نے یہ دادی سے چلیں فی الحال، تشنہ لب سو گئے پردیس میں سب آپ کے لا، تشنہ لب سو گئے پردیس میں سب آپ کے لا، کس طرح رن میں چچا غم کا مداوا کرتے، کٹ گئے شان تو بابا کی مدد کیا کرتے، کٹ گئے شان تو بابا کی مدد کیا کرتے۔ سن کے عباس کے شانوں کی حکایات علا، جو گئیں شکر کے سجدے میں وہ بادیدہ، پہلے سوچا کہ طلبگار قضا کیا ہے غم، پھر خیال آیا کہ جب ہاتھ ہوئے ہوں گے قلم، پھر خیال آیا کہ جب ہاتھ ہوئے ہوں گے قلم، خود کو گھوڑے پہ بڑے جبر میں پایا ہوگا، کیسے عباس میرا خاک پہ آیا ہوگا، کیسے عباس میرا خاک پہ آیا ہوگا۔ کربلا کی یہ نشانی بھی تو دیکھیں اماں، نیل بازو پہیں اور پوشت پہ دروں کے نشان، میں نے کیوں نہ مر گئی جب سر ہوا میرا عریاں، کس سے پوچھوں کہ میری گود کے پالے ہیں کہاں، کس سے پوچھوں کہ میری گود کے پالے ہیں کہاں، منزل ہم سفری آ کے کہاں چھوٹ گئی، قتل عباس ہوئے شیخ کی کمر ٹوٹ گئی، قتل عباس ہوئے شیخ کی کمر ٹوٹ گئی، سن کے یہ ہو گئی مغموم کی حالت سنگی، رو کے فرمایا کہ ٹوٹا میری خاتم کا نگی، کھو گئے دشت بلا میں میرے سب در سمی، کوئی للہ پکارے نہ مجھے بنی، کوئی للہ پکارے نہ مجھے بنی، بیبیوں آج سے ایک سوختہ جانک مجھ کو کہو، کو جڑی ہوں نہ عباس کی ماں مجھ کو کہو، کو جڑی ہوں نہ عباس کی ماں مجھ کو کہو، قبر زہرا کی طرف موڑ کے اپنا چہرہ کہا، اے بنتے نبی لیجئے مجھ سے پرسا، ران میں جب کٹنے لگا آپ کے بیٹے کا گلا، بی بی سچ کہتی ہوں زندہ میرا عباس نہ تھا، بیویوں سچ کہتی ہوں زندہ میرا عباس نہ تھا، باپ کا زور دکھانے کی بھی فرصت نہ ملی، ہائے عباس کو لڑنے کی اجازت نہ ملی، ہائے عباس کو لڑنے کی اجازت نہ ملی، قافلہ شام سے۔
حضرات، حسن جعفری صاحب کا شکر گزار ہوں کہ جب بھی ان سے درخواست کی گئی وہ ہمیشہ وقت نکال کے جس مناسبت کا مرثیہ ہوتا ہے اسے پڑھنے کی پوری کوشش کرتے ہیں۔ شکر گزار ہوں انتظامیہ کی طرف سے، آپ کا بہت مہربانی۔ ان الفاظ کے ساتھ درخواست گزار ہوں قبلہ و کعبہ جناب مولانا رضوان رضوی صاحب سے کہ تشریف لائیں اور رونق افروزی ممبر ہوں۔ اور محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔
رحم اللہ من قرأ سورة الفاتحہ۔ بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم۔ اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم، بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم۔ الحمد للہ الذی قصرت عن رؤیتہ ابصار الناظرین وعجزت عن نعتہ اوہام الواصفین۔ الحمد للہ رب العالمین، الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، خاتم النبيين أبي القاسم محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا۔ أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى وقوله الحق وهو أصدق القائلين، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم۔ المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا والباقيات الصالحات خير عند ربك ثوابا وخير أملا۔ صدق الله العلي العظيم۔ صلوات بالله۔ السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته۔ Condolences on this sad occasion, which marks the wafat of Hazrat Ummul Baneen bint Hizam, known as Fatima bint Hizam al-Kilabiyya, mother of Hazrat Abul Fadl Abbas and wife of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam, Muhammad. We give our condolences to all mu'mineen and mu'minat, especially Imam of our time, Imam Mahdi, Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. On this sad occasion, on the demise of this great personality, I recited this ayat from Surah Kahf for you, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses by saying that al-malu wal-banuna zinatul hayatid dunya. That indeed wealth and children are the zinat and the embellishment of this worldly life. وَالْبَاقِيَاتُ الصَّالِحَاتُ خَيْرٌ عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ ثَوَابًا وَخَيْرٌ أَمَلًا. But indeed, baqiyat al-salihat, your amal al-salihah, your good actions are something which has far greater reward near Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَخَيْرٌ أَمَلًا. And indeed, great hope in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with your baqiyat al-salihat. Of course, baqiyat al-salihat refers to your amal, your actions. That's why in Mafatihul Janan, the end section is called baqiyat al-salihat. The beginning parts where you have all of the surahs and the du'as, and then there was this addendum towards the end which was baqiyat al-salihat, which was added later on. And the title itself is self-explanatory. I recited this ayat as there are many verses in Quran that has been used with the word Banoon or Baneen in it. And I chose this one because this refers to Banoon. And the lady that we are discussing in the history is known as Ummul Baneen. Baneen is plural for, Ibn. And Ibn is a singular, which means a child. Then you have Ibnan in Arabic, which refers to two kids. And then Banoon or Baneen, there are two different ways of pronouncing it in halat al-nasb or in the halat al-raf, genitive case, which becomes Baneen, which is the plural for children. And this personality, of course, is given this title of Ummul Baneen, the mother of children, primarily because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed her with 4 boys, 4 kids, with Amirul Mu'mineen, and she was given that title. Now, of course, her name in the history is mentioned as Fatima bint Hizam, Fatima, daughter of Hizam, from the Kilabia tribe, which was a famous tribe in that time in Arabia. Initially, what I wanted to talk about regarding this personality is her majestic birth. There isn't any mention of the date and even the year of her birth, because it was a time which was probably, and some have calculated, that she married Amirul Mu'mineen 10 years after the shahadat of Janabe Sayyidah. Amirul Mu'mineen was told by Janabe Sayyidah that after I die, marry Umama, and who is very close to my children, she will take care of them. And of course, you are to marry whomever you want to. And for that reason, Amirul Mu'mineen initially married Umama, who took care of course, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, Bibi Zainab, and Hadrat Kulthum while they were very, very young. Of course, when the shahadat of Janab Sayyidah takes place in the 11th year, the same year of the Wafat of Rasulullah, the children could not have been more than 7, 6, 5, and 4 years old. And so they needed a motherly figure to go ahead and take care of them and provide for them. But her birth is something which is unknown, but there is a riwayat that is mentioned about the miraculous nature of her wiladat as well. In the books of Tawarikh, it is found that her father Hizam, who said that he was traveling, and one of his trips as he was traveling, back in the day, many people traveled for work, meaning they had trades, caravans going from one city to another city. And Hizam was also busy with that. He said, one day I saw a dream that I had so much profit in my trip that there were gems and pearls in my lap. And he said, when I saw these gems, that I was surrounded by different gems around me, and they were shown to me that they all belong to me. He said, there came a man who approached me and he said, will you give these gems to me? I will buy it from you. He said, I refused to sell it to him. And that's when I woke up. He said, I came back home. I told my wife about this. We did not know what to make of it. And soon enough, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed us with a daughter, Ummul Baneen, Fatima bint Hizam. And for that reason, this prophecy that was given to him in his dream, he named her after Janab Fatima Zahra, Salamullahi alayha, as Fatima as well. Salawatullah Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. That's where the ayat was also recited. قَدْ صَدَّقْتَ الرُّؤْيَا. The dream that you had seen came true as the birth and the miraculous birth of this great lady. Now there's so much to talk about in her regards, and I will mention it. But there is a greater commemoration for her in Iraq and in many of the Arab countries. And there's this association that there is with this great lady. Every time that we have gone for ziyarat, our group leader over there, they make an effort to produce this sufra of Ummul Baneen, dastarkhan of Ummul Baneen. And many of you who have traveled with us may have seen it. There is mention that this is a tawassul to this great personality. And then there are riwayat in this reference as well. So it's not something which is just made up by the people. It is mentioned that in those days in Iraq, there was this Hanafi family from Turk background had moved to Iraq. When they moved to Iraq, of course, that area where they moved, it was primarily all followers of Madhab-e-Tashayyu. And people over there, would commemorate Majalis, the Ashura, and all of these Majalis were a norm. So this family that moved over there, they were in the midst of, imagine, you moving to a place which is primarily, Wahhabi or other sects of Islam, and you find yourself to be in the middle of where you cannot go to the Majalis, there's no Majalis, there's no Jashan, none of those things are happening. While this family moves, what do they see? That there's always and constantly, there's a silsila of Majalis that is happening throughout the year. And this lady, her name was Wazira. She had been married for 10 years, but did not have any children. But of course, she would see that in this neighborhood, there was always Majalis going on. So she got to know some people in the neighborhood. One of the women suggested to her that you are, without a child and you've been married for 10 years and people start questioning these things. I guess it's more in the women that they start questioning this. And not knowing what the reason is, maybe it is something which is, of course, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so we don't know, it's not in our control. They said, well, come to the sufra of Ummul Baneen. We have the Majlis, 3-day Majalis of Ummul Baneen taking place at the house of Abu Amir. Come and take part in this Majlis. And she said, no, we don't really go to Majalis, and this is something which my husband will not approve of, and that's okay. We've tried everything, we've seen all the physicians, all the doctors, they have said it is not possible, and this is the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so we are, we are living in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so if He wishes, inshallah, a miracle will happen. If He doesn't, then that's okay, that's the will of Allah. But of course, every, husband and wife, there's this will and there's this, chahat, and there's this inclination to have awlad. The love and the hub of awlad is something which is there even prior to having awlad. So right away, and as the ayat that I had recited for you, al-malu wal-banuna zinatul hayatid dunya. While they know that this mal and this children are what? They are primarily the luxuries of this worldly life. Once you have the kids, then of course, there's a greater responsibility of this tarbiyat that is behind it. And tarbiyat is equally important. In the time of our Prophet, there was a custom that a lot of the women who gave birth would probably not nurse their kids, and for one reason or another, kids would be sent to other places to be nursed. Same thing with our Prophet. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was nursed by Halima Sa'diyah radiyallahu anha. She was the one who suckled Prophet. And it was a customary thing. And for that reason, Rasulullah had said the following. He said that La tastardi'ul humaqa fa innal labana yu'di. Do not give your children to these nursing to those who might be foolish or kam aqal. Why? The milk would have effect on the child's upbringing. The milk will have the effect on the child as well. And this is the reason why Amirul Mu'mineen, when he asked his brother, Hazrat Aqil, who was known for his genealogy and his ilm of ansab and whatnot, asked him to find a wife from a very brave and strong background. And he knew the reason behind it. But bringing you back, so even at that time, Rasulullah said the same thing. He said, La tastardi'ul, don't give your awlad to be fed by those who are humaqa, kam aql, or those who are foolish. Why? Innal labana yu'di. There are effects of this nursing as well. But of course, they lived in the time when people would be worrisome, even with the awlad that they had, and the ayat of Quran came to stop them from killing their own awlad for the reason of poverty or other reasons. As the ayat of Quran said, La taqtulu awladakum khashyata amlaqin. Do not go ahead and kill your children out of the fear of poverty. They were poor, but then they were sahib awlad and they were kathirul awlad. They would go ahead and kill their kids. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no, La taqtulu awladakum khashyata amlakin. Don't kill them because of the poverty. Nahnu narzuquhum wa iyyakum. We are the ones who are going to provide their sustenance and their risk, and we'll provide sustenance for you as well. So this should not be the reason that you go ahead and take the life of your own children. But at the same time, when you do have these children, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. Protect yourself and your awlad and your ahlu ayal from what? From the fire which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created in Jahannam. So with all this background, you understand what is this inclination that everyone has towards having children. This lady, Wazira, she of course was hesitant from the very beginning, but she agreed. After all the women had said to her that, come, what's wrong? There's nothing to lose from this aspect. What is the worst that could happen? She said, okay, I agree. He said, there's 3-day Majalis going on in honor of Hazrat Ummul Baneen. Come and be part of the Majlis-e-Ali, and towards the end there will be sufra. You make a niyat and you make a nadhr at that time, and inshallah your nadhr will come true. So she comes to Majlis hesitant, the way she came out so that nobody in the house sees her, and she comes and makes it to this Majlis which was happening just down the street from her house. She comes and she quietly, with her face covered, sits down in the Majlis so that people don't recognize her. She's coming from a Hanafi background. She's not even Iraqi. She's from Turk background. All that would have been very obvious. So she pretends that she's, just there and not to be noticed. And then she says, I started listening to the orator, the lady who was reciting the praise and the eulogy and the marsiyah and talking about the fadail and the masaib of this great lady Ummul Baneen. He says she started talking about her majestic life. She started talking about her life with Amirul Mu'mineen and her children that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave her through with Amirul Mu'mineen, and the reason why Amirul Mu'mineen had married her, asking Aqil to find this brave background family who would come and give me this awlad through which I can prepare them for the biggest test that will take place in Karbala. You know, another proof of this, before I continue with the story of Wazira, is that the grandfather of Hadrat Ummul Baneen, who of course was not Muslim at that time, he was known as a warrior of his time, someone equal to, as far as the capabilities are concerned, compared with Amirul Mu'mineen, Abu Barra. His name was Amir ibn Hisham Kilabi, known as Mala'ibul Asinna, yani Nezebaz, the one who would play with the arrows. Archery was, sort of like a game for him, that he was so much expert as far as archery was concerned. Mala'ibul Asinna was his title. One day, and he had this illness of being thirsty a great deal. He would get thirsty a lot. And I guess this is a situation that exists. Even in our fiqh, there's a masala regarding, those who have extreme thirst, they don't have to fast. Fasting will be then lifted from them, and they will have to give the fidya for the fast that they missed due to extreme thirst, this illness that they have. So this man, Abu Barra, had that illness. One day he sends his brother Labid to go see Rasulullah and to bring some gifts for Rasulullah. Of course, Rasulullah did not accept any gifts from mushrikeen. They were mushrik at that time. Rasulullah refused it. And then Labid says that Rasulullah grabbed some sand, spit in it with his lu'ab, mixed it, and he gave it to me. He said, here, take it for Abu Barra, tell him to drink this. Inshallah, he will be cured with the illness that he has. Labid brings it back to Abu Barra, gives it to him, who thought this was a joke, that Rasulullah had sent some sand and he has spat in it, and there's, he wants me to drink. He said he goes ahead and drinks it. He said, after I drank that, I never felt the same thirst as I used to feel before that. So Rasulullah refused to accept gifts from mushrikeen, but Rasulullah helped mushrikeen. Why? Because he knew that they will come in the progeny of this Abu Barra, someone who would be the mother of persons such as Abul Fadl Abbas, who would then be partnering with Imam Hussein next to him in the plains of Karbala. Salawatullah Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. So here Wazira is sitting in this Majalis, and she's listening to these fadail of Ummul Baneen, and she's listening to this lady who is speaking about how Ummul Baneen got married to Amirul Mu'mineen after the wafat of Janab Sayyidah 10 years later. When Imam Ali approached, this was a custom back in Arabia, that Hazrat Aqil, when he went for this proposal, the Arabs would provide their hospitality for 3 days without even asking the reason why you have come. So they came, they would go ahead and provide for them for 3 days without even asking what is the reason behind that you have come. After the 3 days were done of the hospitality that they had provided, they asked, what was the purpose of your visit? Aqil then responded by saying that we have come to ask for the hand of your daughter, Fatima, for my brother Ali ibn Abi Talib. They were of course surprised with the request, but even then Hizam said, I need to consult with my daughter because it's her decision if she wants to marry or not. He comes and he asks his daughter the same thing as the proposal has come for you from Amirul Mu'mineen. After hearing that, she said, let me relate to you what I just saw last night. He said, I saw last night in a dream, as I was explaining to my mother as you walked in, that I was sitting in a garden. And in this garden, there were rivers and there were fruits. Moon and the stars were shining. I was amazed with the azamat of the moon and the stars. As soon as I was amazed, I saw the moon came and sat in my lap. And then as soon as the moon came and sat in my lap, the 3 stars also followed. They also came and they sat in my lap. There was this light that was mesmerizing me. He said, upon seeing this, I heard this couplet, Bushraki Fatimatu Bisadatil Ghurar ثلاثة أنجم وَالظَّاهِرُ الْقَمَرُ. Oh Fatima, glad tidings to you on this siyadat and on this nuraniyat and on this illumination. ثلاثة أنجم, 3 stars and a bright moon that has come to you. أبوهم سيد في الخلق قاتبا بعد الرسول كذا قد جاء في الخبر. صلوات محمد وآل محمد. Their father is the leader of all of mankind after Rasulullah, and that is the news that has come regarding this moon and these 3 stars. He said, I got this news before the proposal had even come to me. And therefore, how is it that I can decline and say no to such a noble proposal that has come to me? And of course, she accepts. And Wazira is listening to all of these fadail of Ummul Baneen that are being mentioned. And then this lady says, while mentioning in the Majalis and talking about the fadail of Ummul Baneen, mentioned that she was such a noble individual that when she came to the household of Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, she said, don't call me as Fatima. Don't refer to me as Fatima. Why? Every time you call me Fatima, it'll remind you of your own mother and bring grief to you. In fact, who am I? I am the Kaniz of Fatima. I am a servant of Fatima. Treat me as such. I cannot replace the place of Fatima to Zahra. This is her maqam and this is my maqam. That is the reason that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestows her a son who is also referred to as Babul Hawa'ij. So if the son is Babul Hawa'ij, you think the mother will not have the capabilities of doing and fulfilling the hajat and the hawa'ij of individuals? That's why it is mentioned. There are many miracles associated with her. One of them, I'll give it to you tonight, is that there are many things that are mentioned if you lose something. Right? If you lose something and you're looking for it. You know, people like me, a person like me who loses his keys all the time, for example, loses his wallet, for example. You know, I'm sure many of you have the same thing, that you misplace things and you leave it somewhere. I forget where my glasses were. You know, sometimes I leave in the car, sometimes I leave him somewhere else. So what is it that, you know, we're always looking for something? There are many things that are mentioned. Of course, you should find and look for it with due diligence. It can't be that you just sit in a corner and do nothing about it. No, you got to still search for it. But if you want to find that which you have lost, whether it be something which is, you know, very nominal or something which is very important in your life, something expensive or something not that expensive, whatever the case may be, all you do, you make the niyat and you recite a Surah Fatiha for Ummul Baneen and 1 salawat for Ummul Baneen. And once you do that, then you go ahead and find that thing. This is mujarrab. Inshallah, you will have much success in finding that which you have lost. This is mentioned as far as the wasila of this great lady Ummul Baneen. She hears, Wazira is listening to all of these fadail of this great lady that are being mentioned. And now she's mesmerized. And then this lady starts talking about the masa'ib of Ummul Baneen. She comes to a point where she starts talking about that imagine having 4 sons and all 4 are given and devoted toward one personality, that is Hussein ibn Ali. She says, it reminds her that the time when Amirul Mu'mineen was struck on the 19th of Ramadan and Imam passed away on the 21st, his shahadat takes place. She says that Ummul Baneen was there. Rather mentions that yes, Ummul Baneen, when she was there, she sees that Imam Ali Maqam alayhi salatu wassalam is giving wasaya to his children. And after the wasaya were given to the children, Imam did not give any wasiyah to Abul Fadl Abbas. Abul Fadl Abbas comes to Ummul Baneen and says, "Oh mother, my father did not give any wasiyat to me." She comes, brings the hand of Abul Fadl Abbas, brings him to Amirul Mu'mineen and says, "Oh my Aqa, has my son made a mistake that you did not give any specific wasiyat to him?" She said, well, Amirul Mu'mineen then called upon Imam Hussein. Because he was leaving behind Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. He had given wasiyat to everyone to follow Hassan's rulings, to follow Hassan, to be tabi of Hassan, because he's your Imam after me. But then he called Imam Hussein. He called Hazrat Abbas. He placed the hand of Hussein in the hands of Hazrat Abbas and made this wasiyat. Oh Abbas, know this, that this Hussein is the son of Rasulullah and you are my son. As long as you are alive, nothing should happen to Hussein. This was the last wasiyat of Imam Ali toward Abul Fadl Abbas. Wazira is listening to all of these masa'ib and even the masa'ib of the shahadat of the children of Ummul Baneen. That how Hazrat Abul Fadl Abbas, after seeing that many of the family members of Banu Hashim had been killed, he goes up to his brothers. 4 brothers are there, right? Abbas is one of them. Ja'far is another one. Abdullah is one of them. And Uthman is one of them. He goes up to them. He says, oh brothers, it is time for us to go ahead and give our shahadat as well. First, Abdullah goes to the battlefield. He announces who he is, takes pride that I am son of Ali ibn Abi Talib, and then he attains martyrdom. Then Ja'far goes to the battlefield, takes pride that he is the son of Amirul Mu'mineen, and he's the brother of Imam Hussein, and then he sacrifices himself. Then Uthman goes and does the same thing, takes mubahat in the fact that he is the son of Amirul Mu'mineen, and then he attains the shahadat as well. All 3 of the children had been martyred. Then comes the turn of Abul Fadl Abbas. Wazira is listening to all of these masa'ib. She hears the heart-wrenching masa'ib of Hazrat Abul Fadl Abbas. How he came and he was not given the permission to go into the battlefield. Rather, Imam Ali Maqam told Abbas, oh Abbas, do you not hear the sound of al-atash that is coming from the tents? Go get some water for the children. He goes and he gets the water. He's on this mamur to go get the water. He arrives at Furat. He fills up the mashka. But as he coming back, what happens? You all know the history. The one hand was cut off. The next hand was cut off. He was protecting the water, but then comes this arrow that pierces through the mashka. All the water drained from it. He fell to the ground, not having his hands. He falls head first to the ground. As he falls head first to the ground, Imam Hussein looks at him. He sends his salutations. Imam comes next to Abul Fadl Abbas. Abul Fadl Abbas says, oh Hussein, my last will is not to bring me to the tents. Why? I had made a promise to the children that I'll bring water. Wazira is listening to all of these masa'ib. Her heart is broken and she's shedding tears like all the ladies in that hall were shedding tears, listening to the masa'ib. And then this lady brings it towards the end. She says that when Amirul Mu'mineen, when Imam Zainul Abidin comes back to Medina, when he returns back to Medina, he situates himself out in the outskirts of Medina. He awaits there for time being, and then he calls upon Bashir, who was one of the poets. His father was also a poet. He says, oh Bashir, do you say some poetry? Have you said some ash'ar? He said, yes, I have. Oh Bashir, go to Medina. Announce that we have come back. Bashir comes. He comes to the masjid and he says, Ya ahla Yathrab, la maqama lakum biha, qutil al-Husayn, fadma'i midraro. Oh, the people of Yathrab, there's no maqam left for you. Why Hussein has been martyred. Fadma'i midrar. Weep as much as you can. Shed as many tears as you can. Al-jismu minhu bi Karbala muzarrajun. His body is in Karbala. Varra'asu minhu alal qanat yudaru. And his head is raised onto the spear and is being paraded around from city to city. Bashir announces that as he says this, all the women from the city of Medina, they come out of their houses, not worrying about their veils, not worrying about their chadars. They come out of their houses Oh Bashir, what are you saying? Has Hussein been martyred? He says, yes, Hussein has been martyred. And then he encounters Ummul Baneen. Wazira is listening to the Masaib. Then he encounters Ummul Baneen. Ummul Baneen comes up. She asks him, oh Bashir, tell me about Hussein. He says, oh Ummul Baneen, your son Abdullah was killed very bravely. He was fighting. I'm asking you about Hussein. He said, your other son Ja'far also attained martyrdom. And Uthman and Abul Fadl al-Abbas. Ummul Baneen says, oh Bashir, do you not hear me? I'm asking you about Hussein. That Hussein which I raised with my own hands. He said, oh Bibi, your son Hussein did not survive either. He was martyred. She said, I cannot believe it. As long as my children, you say yes, as long as Abbas was alive, nothing happened to Hussein. Only after the demise of Abbas is when Hussein attained martyrdom. People kept coming to Ummul Baneen. They were giving her condolences. When they were giving her condolences, they were calling, oh Ummul Baneen, may Allah accept your shahadat. Oh Ummul Baneen, may Allah accept the shahadat of your children. You know what Ummul Baneen responded? She said these, La tad'uwanni waika Ummul Baneen. Don't call me with the title of Ummul Baneen. Tadhakkarini bil-youth al-arid. You remind me of my lions who are not with me. Kanat banunun li ud'a bihim. I had children because of which I was called Bani Ummul Baneen. Wal yawma asbahtu wala min Baneen. And today I see a day that I don't have any children. Arba'atun bithla نسور الربا وواصل الموت بقطع الوتين. There were 4 of them and no one was close to them and they attained martyrdom بقطع الوتين and their shahrag was cut off. She said towards the end, يا ليت شعري أكما أخبروا بأن عباسا قطيع اليمين. Oh, should I inform you that amongst them was Abbas as well, whose hands were cut off. Yes, Ummul Baneen Masaib were being recited. Wazira is listening to the Masaib. She's shedding tears as you are shedding tears. May Allah give you no sorrow except the sorrow of Ahlul Bayt. And then Majlis comes to the end. Majlis comes to the end. The lady raises her hands. You can raise your hands as well. Oh Allah, with the barakat of Ummul Baneen, may all our hajat come true, inshallah. Oh Allah, all those people who have come here tonight with some hajat, may Allah accept their hajat and fulfill their hajat. Oh Allah, if there is anyone in this mahfil who's requesting children from your bargah, oh Allah, fulfill their hajat and give them the ni'mat of awlad. Oh Allah, if there's anyone who's seeking righteousness of their kids in this mahfil, in this majlis, oh Allah, with the sadaqah of Ummul Baneen, provide that neck and righteous awlad to them. Wazira heard all of this. She also said, Ilahi Ameen. And the majlis ended. People were taking those hadaya that were present on the dastarkhan. She also grabbed some fruits and then she quickly leaves. She said, when I left, I came back home and I arrived on that same night. We and my husband, we ate from the same fruit that I had picked up. He did not know the origin. I had made this nazar. She said, I made this nazar. What was the nazar? Nazar was, oh Ummul Baneen, with your wasila, if Allah gives me awlad, then I will name them, if it's a daughter, after your name, Fatima. If it's a son, I will name him as Ali. This was the nazar this lady Wazira makes, and then she comes home. After they ate that day, a month later, it is mentioned, this story is there, that she started expecting, and the husband and the wife, they were both excited because of that. This was something which was an honor for them. Of course, she kept the secret. She did not reveal as to how she was granted this. And then after 9 months, when the time of birth came, when she gave birth to a daughter, she wanted to name her Fatima. The family disagreed. They said, no, we can't name her Fatima. They suggested some other name. She said, no, I want to name her Fatima because I have made another to name her Fatima. They did not agree. They named her Bushra. Bushra was the name that was given to the daughter of Wazira. She gives kafara because of she was not able to fulfill her nazar. But I will say that she was able to name. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted her with the wasila of Ummul Baneen. I will come back, O Ummul Baneen. You had lived long life. In the year 64 after Hijrah, on 13th day of this month is when your shahada, your wafat takes place. Yes, your wafat takes place. Your kids were not there, but the children of your children were there. They took care of you. They took care of your janaza. They took care of your ghusl and kafan and tatfeen. You are buried next to Fatimatul Zahra. This is a sharaf for you. But hi, your master Ali ibn Abi Talib and Fatimatul Zahra just respond and look at you, the musibat of Fatima. At least your ghusl was done not in the night, in darkness of the night. Your kafan was not given in the darkness of the night. You were not buried in the darkness of the night. Ali didn't have to make multiple graves to bury you. Unlike when Fatima left this world, Ali had to do it all at night. Didn't permit many people. This is the daughter of Khatimul Anbiya, Khatmul Mursaleen. She's Sayyidatul Nisa'il Alameen. She's the wife of Sayyidul Awsiya, and she's the mother of Shabab Ahlul Jannah. But her janaza moves at night time. Ali digs in some riwayat 12 graves, in some riwayat 70 graves, knowing what these people will do. Ala lanatullahi al-qawmi al-zalimin wa sayalamu alladhina zalamu ayya munqalibin yanqalibun. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Allah, please accept our ibadah tonight. Allah, we've committed a lot of sins. Please forgive our sins. Allah, give us the tawfiq and ability to be able to follow the commands and the teachings of Ahlul Bayt alayhimu salatu wassalam. Allah, with the sadaqah of this majlis for the lady for whom we have gathered here, Ummul Baneen, Fatima bint Hizam, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of your hajat tonight. With the wasila and the tawassul of this great lady and all the miracles that are associated with her, oh Allah, nobody leaves this majlis tonight until their hajat inshallah is fulfilled. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hasten the reappearance of our awaited Imam and make us amongst the helpers and the soldiers of Imam. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Allahumma. Ya Hussein. 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 What's it?
Ya Hussein. आगे या हुसैन 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 ज़ैनब ये रो के बोली भैया न दिल दुखाओ क्या देर का सबब है ये तो हमें बताओ मशकी ज़बर के जल्दी दरिया से लौटाओ बच्ची की तशनगी को तुम आके खुद बुझाओ अब्बास 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 पानी लाओ عباس پانی لاؤ، 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 عباس پانی. وہ غم زدہ یقیناً یادوں میں کھو گئی ہے، وہ غم زدہ یقین بابا کو روتے روتے وہ تھک کے سو گئی ہے، بابا یا تشنہ لب سکینہ بے ہوش ہو گئی ہے، یا تشنہ لب سکینہ پانی کا دے کے چھینٹا تم ہی اسے جگاؤ، عباس 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 پانی لاؤ، عباس پانی لاؤ، عباس پانی. ہاتھوں میں خالی کوزے بچے لیے ہوئے ہیں، ہاتھوں میں گردے سکینہ دیکھو حلقہ کیے ہوئے ہیں، بچے نہ جانے کب کا پانی پیے ہوئے ہیں، بچے نہ جانے بن آب مر نہ جائیں، پانی انہیں پلاؤ، عباس 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 پانی لاؤ، عباس پانی لاؤ، عباس پانی لاؤ. اس بے کسی پہ ہائے آتا ہے مجھ کو رونا، اس بے کسی پرہول ہے اندھیرا اور خاک کا بچھونا، پرہول ہے اندھیرا سینے پہ سونے والی کیا جانے ایسے سونا، سینے پہ سونے پیاسی ہے مضطرب ہے آ کر اسے سلاؤ، عباس 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 پانی لاؤ، 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 عباس. اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل
توجہ زیارت. السلام علیکم یا رسول اللہ، السلام علیکم یا نبی اللہ، السلام علیکم یا امیر المؤمنین و سید الوصیین، السلام علیکم فاطمۃ الزہرا سیدۃ نساء العالمین، السلام علیکم یا عزیزۃ الزہرا، السلام علیکم یا ام البدور السواتع، یا فاطمۃ بنت حزام الکلابیہ المکنات بے ام البنین ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. السلام علیکی و فدائکی باولادک الرابعہ لسید الشہداء علیہ السلام، بابا للحوائج فإن لکی عند اللہ شأنا وجاہا محمودا. والسلام علی اولادک الشہداء العباس علیہ السلام قمر بنی ہاشم، باب الحوائج وعبد اللہ وعثمان وجعفر الذین استشہدوا فی نصرت الحسین علیہ السلام بکربلا، فجزاک اللہ واجزاہ افضل الجزاء فی جنات النعیم. اللہم صل علی محمد وآل محمد عدد الخلائق التي حصرها لا يحتسب او يعد وتقبل منا یا کریم. السلام علیکم یا غریب الغرباء، السلام علیکم یا معین الضعفاء والفقراء، السلام علیکم شمس الشموس وانیس النفوس، ایها المدفون بعرض توس علی ابن موسیٰ الرضا ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. السلام علیکم صاحب العصر والزمان، السلام علیکم امام الانس والجان، السلام علیکم شریک القرآن، عجل اللہ تعالی فرجک وسہل اللہ مخرجک وظہورک وجعلنا من اعوانک وانصارک ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ.